Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Red Devil Reviews. Today we're talking Warriors Orochi 4. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Two things. One, everything that you're seeing right now is just visual aid stuff in the background. I'm not going to work too hard on explaining it. Rather, you can sort of take it in for yourself or not to if you don't care. I'm just showing off a little bit of the characters. I show off the skill trees. This, that, and the other. This video is not going to be too much explaining the features for you. This video, I mean, let's face it. If you're watching this, you're probably already somewhat familiar with Warriors games. Probably a veteran yourself. I see this a lot, and it makes sense. We have limited money, limited time. We've got to make smart purchases. I see this on Reddit all the time. Which, by the way, I'm on Reddit now because I'm an intellectual. I got money now, and I'm a big fan of the series. I need something to play. I want something hard. I want something casual. Whatever your interest may be. Which one should I get? I will go ahead, and if that's all you care for, I'll go ahead and tell you. I can recommend this game. As somebody who's played Warriors games for the last 15 years, I can recommend this game to you. It's pretty good, in my opinion. And I try not to spoil too much about the story, which, admittedly, in my opinion, I think is mediocre. I think most people will find it mediocre. It's not too big of a priority for me. If you're looking for a really compelling plot, this game is not for you. But that's pretty much true of all of the Warriors games, at least in my opinion. I do my best to show off a lot of the magic and stuff, which is supposed to be a really big gameplay feature in this game. It's the new gimmick that they added. Totally not necessary to use magic, by the way, unless you care about getting the battle objectives and stuff, which I forgot to turn on, but I'm about to here in just a second. The one where you have to get a certain amount of magic kills. I'm a big trophy guy, so for me, I tried to get these objectives as much as possible. For the casual player, they're going to try and complete these battle objectives for the sake of getting the rewards that come with them. You get a little bit of money or a little bit of the skill points that you need to level up officers, which is pretty neat, I guess. The skill trees are almost pretty much entirely objective, like stat boost upgrades, and that's how you unlock attacks. The attack tree is through this upgrade tree. Too many trees here, but you know, it's alright, I guess. I can't even remember off the top of my head how they did it in Warriors Orochi 3, which, by the way, I apologize. I don't mean to beat a dead horse here. If you've seen my Dynasty Warriors 9 video, I didn't care for it too much. However, Dynasty Warriors 9 and Warriors Orochi 3 are the obvious games to compare this one to, so I won't be doing that. I understand that even like all these months later, Dynasty Warriors 9 is still pretty controversial amongst the boys here. But television here. Somebody sent me stickers on the goddamn PlayStation. If you're watching this video, son, you need to quit that shit. But I'm so sorry. Back to the point here. As far as content goes, that's going to be the major concern for pretty much everybody that already enjoys these kind of games. There's quite a bit here to enjoy. 5 chapters. The first chapter is only like 3 tutorial missions, but the other 4 are pretty lengthy, and then the miscellaneous missions. There's quite a few here. I don't know how many hours exactly I've spent. I've gotten the platinum on this game. And that's one of the reasons why I put off making this video for such a long time, is because I wanted to play this game until I was sick with it, and then think on it for a while. And that's what I've done. I haven't played this game in about 2 weeks. That's when I got the platinum. I did play just like an hour and a half ago just to play this mission. I actually fucked up. I wasn't even trying to play. This is chaotic difficulty, by the way, folks. This is the This is hard mode. Well, actually, no. They have a hard difficulty. Haven't played on hard difficulty. Have played on chaotic because there's a trophy for it. And did I mention I'm all about them trophies? So I did do that. I plan on playing through the game again. Which, spoiler alert, I think the game's pretty good. And I'll probably do it on hard difficulty the last one through because that's the only one that I haven't done so far. And I'll see how it compares. Speaking of difficulty, I know that's a major concern for a lot of people that play this game, and I didn't even know that until recently, because once again, I'm on Reddit, the front page of the internet. And there are a lot of people out there that really care about having a hard game and making these games hard for them, because I understand. Like I said, we got limited money. We need to try and squeeze the absolute most we can out of these games. And Warriors games are pretty good for that, in my opinion. Been playing them a long time. Chaotic difficulty, I'm wrecking shit right now. But I am using the max weapons in this game. Every single person on this team has their, 5-star weapon or whatever. The way that you get those, pretty common theme throughout the series, is you play certain missions with certain characters on the hardest difficulty, and instead of there being like secret objectives or whatever from the older games with sort of ambiguous wording, in this game you just play on the hardest difficulty and it tells you what characters need to play what missions, and you complete the battle objectives. Sounds easy, sometimes they're not so easy. The time ones, especially, are the ones that I have more difficulty with. The battle objectives pretty much follow a certain theme. Keep this officer above a certain health, defeat this enemy in a certain amount of time, defeat this amount of enemies with this kind of set of attacks. As you can see in this one, it's beat 400 using magic. And that one's not too bad in the grand scheme of things. That's enough that you sort of have to consciously. I can't speak English. I apologize. But it's enough to make me sort of go out of my way to do it. And here I die because I'm the greatest player in the entire world. I'm actually just demonstrating the checkpoint system. That's what that is, which is in this game. That sort of takes a little bit of the difficulty out of it, but if you're really hardcore, you can start over from the beginning. They give you the option. From what I understand, I think they introduced that feature in the Hyrule Warriors game, and I don't have that one, but my friend does, and he said that that's in it, which is pretty neat. Really made a lot of those chaotic missions easier for me, because although the difficulties do matter, if you take really strong certain characters that are sort of broken and level them up to the max. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I just said that out loud. But you level them to max level, and you can pretty much dominate, mostly. I show off late in this footage Orochi, character from the very first Warriors Orochi. He's still really strong. I've played him for like 110 missions. Have over 100,000 kills or some shit like that. Just because he's strong, and I needed a character that was capable of beating the chaotic missions. And that was a bit of a drag for me, I'm not gonna lie. The feature from Warriors Orochi, I'm not sure if it was introduced in 2 or not. It's been a long time since I played. I know it was in the 3rd game, where they give you like a recommended team, and it's just a neat way of making sure that all the characters are included. They get like a little small, most times, piece of dialogue, and that's it. But they do, if you play the recommended team, they get bonus XP and stuff. And I'm not exactly sure how the little gold scrolls work, which is just a consumable you can get where afterwards, I get it several times throughout the gameplay if you're paying attention. Where, as a matter of fact, there's one on the screen right now, where if you pick it up, every enemy you beat drops XP scrolls. And I level up. My character is level 42 here. That's pretty high on average. I level up like 3 times in this room, and there's Hey, shout out to my boy Jake hopping on the deal there. Just had to steal the spotlight a little bit. It's my boy. But that's the main reason to play the recommended team. That's why I'm going to play through the game again. And I will say that about the difficulty. Even playing on normal, which is what my first playthrough was, I found that playing the recommended team, because it was mostly level 1, because there's so many characters in the game and so few missions, that some characters, like really popular ones, appear as recommended team members twice, maybe. But most of the time, characters just get one mission. So most of the time they're like level 1 or something, unless you have the spare growth points to get them up to like level 20. And even then, some of the later missions become a drag. And that for me was not very fun. So about halfway through my playthrough is when I ran into this issue. I switched to characters that I already had really enjoy, like Wen Yang or something. Characters that are some of my favorites that I already had leveled up quite a bit, and I just had to use the same characters over and over again. And that part I didn't enjoy too much. I wish... I think in Warriors Orochi 3, and please somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like they balanced that by auto-leveling up certain characters. They didn't do that this time. They start out at level 1 every time. So, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I played a lot of that game. I think that was the case. It did not return. I'm beating the mission here. You can see here in a second what the after mission screen looks like as far as the S rank and stuff goes. Get S rank, you don't have to do the objectives. I did do all 3 in this one just to show what it was like. But you don't actually have to do it. It's just based solely off of the time that it took you to beat the mission, as well as the amount of KOs that you got. That's it. Some missions are pretty difficult to get this on, especially for me, because I was trying to do everything at once and get all the battle objectives and play on chaotic and this, that, and the other. But bright side to everything, it did mean that there was a lot of replayability for me. I had to do the mission several times in order to complete all the necessary requirements to get the platinum trophy. And that's me, man. That's how I got the most enjoyment out of it. You can see the battle objectives there at the bottom. I ended up actually getting S rank on this one. I'm going to just get rid of all these weapons because I don't need them. You can either disassemble them for like the special effects or sell them for the gems. I've gotten to the point where both are not really useful to me at all. So I just delete the shit so it doesn't appear in the inventory. I wish there was a sell all button. I wish that they would add that in a free update. As you can see, they added search by force, which actually wasn't in the base game. They added it in an update. And I'm glad they did, because that's the way that, Dad did it. It's the way America does it. And this is how you level characters up here. Max level is 100. You can reset anybody to level 1 from the options. I'm not sure if you get a return on the growth points or not. I would guess not. And here's the skill tree. And I actually popped a skill orb there at the bottom just to show you what that's like. You get 3 skill points. This is all sounding very nerdy. But it's all in good fun, I assure you. And really, that's it that I can think of off the top of my head. A lot of content, difficulties that matter, less than Warriors Orochi 3, yes. In my opinion, there's a lot of people that say that's not true. In my opinion, it is. A lot more than Dynasty Warriors 9. If that game was a disappointment to you, this is Return to Glory. What else? I have like a minute here. You can tell. I'm trying to hurry, think. Okay, really that's about it. I'm going to stop saying that videos are coming soon, because let's face it, I'm just going to get to it when I get to it. You can see here I've done everything on chaotic. And that's what the recommended teams and stuff looks like. You get horses, by the way, just by progressing the game, beating certain missions. It's not random like it was in some other games. You get to Matsukaze very early. It's Keiji's horse, and it's pretty fast. And Red Hair you do get pretty late in the game, and those are the two fastest horses. So I didn't get any of the DLC, nothing like that. That's not for me. If you have the extra cash and you love these games, maybe that's something you can look into. Personally, I wish that you wouldn't, because I find the DLC practices of Tecmo Koei or Koei Tecmo or whatever they are calling themselves this week to be very predatory, and I don't enjoy it at all. But hey, you do you. I can't stop you. So to answer your question, yes, this is a game worth getting. I recommend it. If you have any questions that you feel I didn't address, let me know in the comments. I'll type you up a goddamn essay. Love you, everybody. I'll see you here in the next few months. Whenever it's right, I guess. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.